So this is a really interesting development in the odds of who the next Jets quarterback is going to be. I did a whole live stream talking about Aaron Rodgers. Then I talked with Paul Boy Green. Ian from Jet Central actually joined us. It was a blast. If you guys want to go check that stream out, that's on Boy Green's channel. And this is actually in reference to one of Boy Green's tweets. So, hey, follow him on Twitter too. Good stuff. The Vegas betting odds have actually shifted to now Aaron Rodgers and Derek Carr have the same exact betting chances, for whatever that means, to be the next Jets quarterback. And it's like, to me, in the last week, Aaron Rodgers became a pipe dream that I talked about just for fun, to now I'm starting to set myself up to get let down if he's not a Jet. And I'm not here to divide the fan base on these two. I'm not here to beat my chest for Aaron Rodgers over Derek Carr or Derek Carr over Aaron Rodgers. And if you want one and not the other, you're an idiot. That's not how I feel at all. I think that there are valid arguments that could be made for both of them. And there's a lot of variables we just don't know. We don't know what the trade composition would be for Aaron Rodgers. If it's 2 first-round picks, unconditional, and Derek Carr is released and I can get him for nothing, maybe I get Derek Carr. If Aaron Rodgers can be had for 2 seconds, but Derek Carr you have to trade 1 second for, and I could throw in 1 extra second and get Aaron Rodgers, and Aaron Rodgers actually has a lower cap hit if traded than Derek Carr. To me, this is a really close call. A really close call. And I'm still leaning at Rodgers. That's just the gut, right? You tell me Derek Carr, Aaron Rodgers, my gut is still Rodgers. But if we get Derek Carr, man, dude, and look, maybe I'm wrong about Derek Carr. Maybe he comes here and he's not good and we regret it and we're stuck with him. Like, I have that fear. I do have that fear if you're going to cut him $100 million contract. I do. But not even just talking about him as a potential Jets quarterback, as a football fan, I felt for the last 10 years that he has been a good quarterback, that it has been in an organization of dysfunction, of bad offensive line play, of horrendous defense, coaches in and out. His number one wide receiver gets involved in a tragic death and is out of the league, and his coach is fired over emails and all that. And now there you got a new coach who thinks he knows best and he's kicking him to the curb. Yeah. How did Josh McDaniels bringing in his guys and getting rid of the old guys work in Denver? Like, we know what he's doing. Yeah. If Josh McDaniels is getting rid of somebody, you probably know that person is good. What we know about Josh McDaniels' resume. So if I'm wrong about Carr, then I've been wrong for 10 years. And I'm not just recently thinking he's good because I'm desperate for a Jets quarterback. That's my take on Derek Carr. What's Derek Carr's ceiling? Well, what Derek Carr's ceiling is 2021. That was his ceiling. 68% completions, 4,800 yards, and he drags a dumpster fire, unwilling, kicking and screaming, get on my back, like it or not, you're going to the playoffs. I force you to. That's his ceiling. That's his ceiling with a bad offensive line, with no really wide. His number one wide receiver is like a slot receiver, and a bad defense, and poor coaching. That's his ceiling with that. What is his ceiling with competency and stability? And maybe the Jets don't have that. Okay? But any quarterback you plan on, like, my plan is on getting that quarterback and being a well-run team. Because otherwise, what are we talking about? If Salah's an idiot and JD's overrated and all this stuff, okay, then fine. Then we're going to be underwhelming any quarterback we get. But to me, I don't plan on being the Raiders. I don't plan on being the same old Jets. So if we get Derek Carr, it should be better than that. It should be better than that. Now, does Derek Carr win you a Super Bowl? I can't look you right in the eye and say, if you sign Derek Carr for 4 years, that I'm very confident one of those is going to be a Super Bowl, but he gets you in the playoffs. And whenever you're in the playoffs, you have a shot. You make the playoffs 3, out of 4 years that he's here, you got 3 shots, man. Nick Foles went to a Super Bowl. Matt Ryan went to a Super Bowl. Eli Manning has a couple of Super Bowls. Like, maybe he's better than some of those guys or worse than some of those guys, but I think he's in the same stratosphere. So as what regular season Eli Manning? Come on. Eli Manning closed his eyes and threw the ball in the air and it stuck on some dude's helmet and he won a Super Bowl. Nick Foles is like a third stringer now. Wasn't that long ago he won a Super Bowl. Oh no, man. You have a shot. You have a shot. With Aaron Rodgers, you have a better shot. And I think that the reason why I have Aaron Rodgers in the number 1 now is that he would actually might cost less money And now there's word that Carr is going to be traded. So if you could take some of those assets that you were going to give to Carr and you could get Aaron Rodgers instead and say it's 2 years. And that's the thing for me that I think has been a little bit overrated. The fact that one of these guys is a long-term solution, right? Derek Carr. He's long-term, whereas Aaron Rodgers is viewed as a Band-Aid, a stopgap. Look, yeah, Derek Carr, okay, 4 years is much better than 2 years, right? It's twice as long, much more stability. You can get Derek Carr for 4 years. He's going to be 32 when the season starts. You get him 32 to about 36. That's kind of the end of a quarterback's prime, I would say. Unless you're Tom Brady, you're probably going to start declining at 37, 38. So, okay. Yeah, get Derek Carr for 4 years. All right. Once Derek Carr's 35, he's after his third year, you're probably looking at drafting a quarterback to try and replace him. So neither one of these guys is going to be some sort of 8-10 year solution. Eventually, we're going to have to draft that guy. Of course. Maybe we did with Zach Wilson. Maybe he has a crazy turnaround and it's him. But either way, I don't think that Aaron or Derek Carr are super long-term solutions. One is just a longer stopgap than the other. And if one of those stopgaps gives you a significantly better chance of trying to compete for a Super Bowl, then I think you go with that one. But you're not going to find me really tearing into anybody who wants one of these guys over the other. We got people on Jets Twitter saying sign Gardner Minshew and draft Stetson Bennett. Okay, so if you're shopping in the Carr and Rodgers aisle, I got no problem which one is your preference, but I'd make the call for Rodgers first. And if we get Carr, that's cool too. Go Jets.